In this video, we'll show you how to name hydrocarbons. First, you need to know what is the UPAC. The UPAC is the International Union of Pure Applied Chemistry, and it strives to advance in chemistry, in part by setting global standards for names, symbols, and units. Hydrocarbons are composed of carbon and hydrogen atoms, each carbon able to form 4 bonds with hydrogens. And they are classified into alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, and aromatics. Alkanes have single bonds, alkenes double bonds, alkynes triple bonds, and the aromatics the benzene rings. It is important to have rules for naming compounds because it ensures that every substance has a single name.
There are 6 main rules for naming alkanes. The first one is to find the longest carbon chain. The second one is to number the carbons starting from the ending closest to the substituents. The third one, name the substituents. The fourth one, name the alkyl groups alphabetically. Add prefixes if repeated. And the fifth one, name the parent chain, prefix at end. And the final is to separate numbers. The first step for naming this alkane is to find the longest chain, which will be this one. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carbons. Now, the second step will be to number them. We will start from right to left because we have an alkyl group first. Now, our third step will be to identify the alkyl groups we have in our problem. Here we have 2 methyls, 1 ethyl. Okay, so for naming our alkane, we will start with alphabetical order. In the 4th place we have ethyl, so we write 4 ethyl, then 3, 5, 3 and 5, and since we have 2 methyls, we're going to write the suffix B, methyl, octane.
The UPAC rules to name alkenes are: first, we have to identify the longest chain, and it has to include the double bond. Then, the numbers must be gained from the end closest to the double bond. Then, we have to name the double bond, and at the end, we have to put E. So first, we have to identify the longest chain, including the double bond. So here we have the 2 double bonds. So we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we choose this one, they are also 8 carbons. So we can do this one. Then we have to number the carbons from the end closest to the double bond. So here is the first double bond. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we have to name the substituents. So here we have a methyl, so in carbon 2 and carbon 4, and in here we have an ethyl in carbon 6. Okay, now we have to start naming according to alphabetical order. So we start with this one, with ethyl. So in carbon 6 we put ethyl. Then in carbon 2 and 4 we have 2 methyls, so we put 2, 4, D, methyl, and to end in carbon 2 and in carbon 4 we have the two double bonds, 2, 4. Since we have 8 carbons, we put octa, D, since we have 2 double bonds, in, which is the ending according to alkenes.
So now I'm going to teach you how to name alkynes. First we need to identify the longest chain, but must have the triple bond. Then you must begin the count of the number of carbons to the closest to where is the triple bond. Then we need to indicate the location of the bond and put the suffix I. So in this example we have two longest chain. It can be this one or it can be this one. That are 7 carbons. So normally in alkane we will start here because it's the closest carbon to the substituent. But so this is an alkyne, we will start from this one because it's the nearest point to the triple bond. So we start like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 carbons. So we have here an ethyl and an methyl. So we start with ethyl because in alphabetical order is first the E and then the M. So we put the number 5, ethyl. We put the 6, methyl. And to finish, we put the number, what is the triple bond? That is number 2, F-time.
Well, these are the basic rules, basic UPAC rules for the aromatics. The rule number 1, they must have benzene rings. Well, they contain benzene rings. Number 2, you have to use the simplest numbers. And rule number 3, the name must end in benzene. Another way to name them is to use the prefixes ortho when you have substituents in number 1 and number 2, meta when you have substituents in number 1 and number 3, and para when they are in number 1 and number 4.
Well, this is an example of an aromatic. First of all, we have to number from the simplest, and we will begin with ethyl since it will be named alphabetically. Then we need to identify the substituents that are inside of our aromatic. So it will be ethyl, methyl, methyl, methyl. Then now we're going to name the aromatic and we're going to begin with ethyl and it is in position 1. Now we're going to focus on the methyls. They are in positions 3, 5, and 6. And since they are 3, we're going to put the prefix 3, methyl. And since it is an aromatic, we finish